My companies, all 6 companies, have had the same mantra, and it is to make a positive impact in people's lives, to have fun doing it, and to share in all the rewards, material and otherwise, which come naturally as a result of setting that energy and flow. And that's basically it. And I've gone with that approach. I don't see the point of starting a company unless it's going to be impactful. And I don't see the point of even being an entrepreneur unless you're going to have fun. And then when you put those two things together, the rest comes naturally. The money and the spiritual rewards and the thrill of it all comes naturally, I find.
Our why is to help people, starting with people, and then by extension, helping the businesses or organizations they work for achieve their maximum opportunity and potential for success through better human interactions. I don't think we can ever truly be successful without people. I don't think my life can be blessed in whatever way I'm seeking without good friends, good neighbors, good family members, in my case, good clients. And so what we do every day through our work, whether it's our book, whether it's our workshops, now whether it's through our new masterclass, is we try to help people to articulate their best thoughts, their best intuition, so that the person on the other end of the phone or the person on the other side of the desk sees that a relationship with you would be mutually advantageous.
I think it starts with the golden rule, which is really our corporate overreaching principle. It's just to treat people like you'd want to be treated. And we frequently tell buyers and sellers, get up from the table virtually, walk to the other side, and see if you were doing this deal on their side, is it fair and reasonable? So that combined with giving people the tools to make good decisions with knowledge, sharing our experience, best practices, how to address issues, because the beauty of having been in business as a firm for almost 50 years and doing this almost 28 myself is you have a menu of solutions to situations.
While I am a serial entrepreneur, I saw certain things in the marketplace. I saw an egregious industry in the sense of the big, large PEOs that obfuscate and create smoke. And I wanted to bring my subject matter expertise to the table. So we created Calm HR to simplify an employer's realm, to be transparent, to charge a fair fee for our services, and to partner with them and not be an adversary to them. In other words, if I have your back office ratcheted down, all electronic, everything on your phone or tablet or computer, and we've got your life simplified, then you can do what? You can go about your business building it. Or if it's a mission and it's a nonprofit, then go do your mission. But you don't have to worry about all the widgets. You don't have to worry about all of those processes because we've ratcheted them down for you.
Well, it was funny. So when I acquired Resort Map, that company was based here in a little town in Vermont. The sellers stayed on for a while, and I became friendly with them. And we talked. I found out about Discovery Map, a similar but slightly different West Coast competitor. And they'd said that, one of the reasons why they kind of decided to exit was they saw this competitor coming, and they kind of weren't up for the battle, so to speak. And I then watched them from a distance. As a franchisor, both of us must disclose our offering circular publicly. In the franchise world, it's called a franchise disclosure document.
Sure.
So you have to disclose that publicly. And at least at the time, California would make theirs available online. So I could kind of look into their system and understand how they were operating by looking at their documents.
I think that the short answer is I have struggled with empathy probably for the last 20 years. And I've also had, I think the hardest thing, during the second phase of your career, the third phase, whatever, is unlearning stuff, right? And the way that I led when I was 24 versus 42 is very, very different. And it's taken me a long time to really get a grip on what I suck at and what I need to get better at and what I'm, relatively great at. But I don't have that part of my brain or my heart or my head that can understand people that are lazy or that don't maximize their potential. And that's always a struggle.
About brand lift. So this is part of it. How integrated is this into, is it part of marketing? Is it part of their CSR program? And, bigger companies have CSR, smaller ones don't even probably know what that is necessarily, but, part of their giving and like, where does this fit? And then how do you bring the conversation all together in a way that's cohesive and fits the company's goals?
Well, that's somewhat of a tension inside our business, but it's such a beautiful idea because the domain of the human heart is expansive. It's infinite. So the domain of the heart of a brand is also infinite. There's no reason why social impact can't be a part of your culture building, your morale building, your passion and profitability building within the business. And then same goes for your marketing. I mean, you could run a campaign where you are acquiring new users by converting your marketing dollars that you would have normally spent, let's say, on Facebook ads, and instead spend that money charitably in a way that invites people at a super high engagement rate to come in, choose a cause, come back to your website, see what your new offerings are. So it's a really great way to just invite people back to the proverbial store.
Well, I understand what that feels like. I've been trapped by my businesses in the past before. Business can be one of the best things that ever happened to you in life, be one of the greatest things you ever did with your life, or it could be one of the most miserable things if you don't do it right. And there's been periods over the last 20 years where I had it all messed up and my business was not a blessing. It was something that was causing great pain. And so I kind of had to take my last business to the sticks and rebuild it from the inside out. And going through that, I started to realize that the business was the thing that was lending like an interesting storyline to my life. It was the thing that was causing my life to be interesting. It was the thing that was causing me to take on new challenges and learn new skills and literally like create an interesting storyline to my life. And that really my life's purpose was my small business, was the people that worked there, was the success of the business, was the customers that used the services that we offered. And that's really why I got out of bed in the morning. And I started to kind of make those connections and understand that no matter what, I'm going to be working my butt off on my best idea for my business. And that's just my life's purpose. And so if you can kind of rewire the struggle and rewire the journey that you go through in building a business as it's your business, it's your life's purpose. And it's the thing that's causing your life to be interesting and dynamic and worthwhile. It can help take care of a lot of those kind of low points in the journey of getting a business going.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we are a purpose-driven organization. So when you walk in the room, we call them you're an innovator. So two things. We want people to come in with great ideas, to think outside the box, to make an impact in your area. And two, the purpose is we're here to make sure that the environment does not have any recyclables in their waste stream, in the oceans, or anywhere else. And that is our purpose as a company. And I think it's a clear purpose. We have such a passionate team. We have almost 1,000 employees that every single day of their lives when they wake up is how do we reduce carbon footprint? How do we capture more plastic or more cardboard or more aluminum? And how do we put it in circular economy? So it's a great feeling when you wake up in the morning and you have a purpose to do something right for our world. So it's fun. I really enjoy it, and I think our team does too.
Obviously, I can see that service is ingrained in your business model at AlphaPoint. Can you speak to that a bit? Do you have initiatives in place that go beyond service to the blind, or how are you making a positive social impact? I mean, the military thing is really, that's pretty cool being able to give back. Are there other things that you guys are doing to create impact as well?
Well, I think one area that maybe it's unique for us, it's part of our enterprise, but it extends beyond people who are legally blind, is we operate a low vision clinic. And we're going to be, we have 2 in the Kansas City metro area, and we hope to be expanding those over time, where we're serving primarily, most of vision loss happens later in life. while, people can be born blind or lose their eyesight very early in life, maybe through a medical condition or an accident, an illness. But in truth, the vast majority of people who lose their eyesight later in life because of macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy, 2 leading causes of vision loss in the United States. Happen typically later in life, 50s or older. And so we serve, through our low vision clinic, a lot of people who are starting to experience functional limitations to their vision.
Yeah, it's such a big question, right? So first I want to say, as a leader, it is really a big deal to be super personal about who you are, and it doesn't always work. So I think you have to really have a lot of good personal depth and reflection and willingness to be vulnerable in the right ways if you're going to really bring all of who you are into your leadership role and into your company. So one of the things I learned early when I started at Sticker Giant, one of our values is really around personal expression. We really value personal expression. And we do that inside the company and for our customers as well. I mean, we make promotional stickers, right? That's an expression of either a brand or an artist. So being able to express who you are fully as a person was a real match for me here at Sticker Giant.
Let's talk about your company culture and how that culture fosters the growth of the business.
Everybody here kind of works on a shoestring, and we get done with less than we'd like to have, right? Love to have a whole marketing team and a sales team and all the other stuff, but we got to get done with fewer. And so it's a lot of long hours for the team here, and everybody chips in and works hard, whether that's the guys brewing the chai or the marketing efforts for the other team up front. So we have to get done with less, and that there's a real team spirit. There really is. I mean, everybody kind of feels like we're in this together. And to a large degree, that's also partially the Sherpa culture that has invaded how we do business here. So for example, every day of the week, we actually have a communal lunch, and everybody on the team has a day they cook and bring lunch in. As it turns out, today was my day. So we all make it typically is curry, and then we have a rice cooker, and we have a communal lunch every afternoon, which is, I think, totally different than any place I've ever worked in the past, and I love it. I really do. I think it's a great way to build the team.
Adapting to change has to be a habit of your being, that you just don't all of a sudden belly up to the bar and say, I'm going to adapt today. You have to really foster a culture of adoption.
Right.
And adaptation. And, part of our culture at Toronto, previously at CISOs, and then previously at CSS, is a culture of innovation and being employee-focused and client-centric. So that means that as leadership, we are constantly, and I mean on a daily basis, involved in conversations with both constituencies. So we're talking to our clients to see what's keeping them up at night, what their concerns are, what they're dreaming about for the future, what have they learned from lessons had, and then from our employees, what are their concerns? What would make their jobs easier? What frustrates them every single day? And when you marry those two camps together, that's where innovation comes. And that's what we feel as the senior management team is our job one every day.
For me, there was a couple of different factors. So certainly as someone, in a different generation, I think you're seeing people coming up who are saying, no, just coming to work, pushing paper and collecting my paycheck just isn't sufficient for me as a person. And it's certainly not leading to the best work by any means. I think then what ended up happening, which was not, certainly not something I foretold, but I think it expedited something that was already happening, which was, what I like to call the great pause, where we ended up with a global pandemic. Everybody at the same time had their life significantly disrupted and was put in a position, that was disrupted long enough for them to be in a position to say, hey, do I want to go back to the life that I had? Is the way that I'm spending my time worth it? Or do I want to do something else? And that has now led to what a lot of people are calling the Great Resignation. But I think it's less about, resigning. It's more actually about opting into a different way of doing things, and that requires you to step back from what you were doing before. And I'm seeing a lot of businesses, have in a position now of having to rapidly change how they've been going about doing things. Some people are doing it really seamlessly. A lot of people are not. And that's where I really get excited to come in and help.
The greatest piece of advice that's ever been given to me is to slow down, create balance. I've always been the type of guy throughout life that go. I want it done now. And one of my greatest mentors looked at me years ago and he said, until you learn to create balance, you haven't created. And, I sat on that and reflected because balance means so much. But balance is the key to success, right? Understanding the time that you have to put forth for your health, for your family, for your passion, and then your company. So that balance has created the culture of what DCG is today. And without balance, you really don't have much. Balance is the key to success. Balance is what has driven me to become who I am today and will allow me to always remember that in order to create the greatest version of me, I must have balance.